You've been watching me DIY for a while. You know I love to get inspiration from high-end sites. When I was looking on Studio McGee's site, I found this gorgeous metal candle holder, and I thought this we could definitely recreate with Dollar Tree items. So the first thing you're gonna need to pick up is a plate. I felt like the smaller plates would be best, and I wanted to find one as flat as possible. So I'm gonna be using this white plate. And then you're also going to need one of Dollar Tree's clear glass vases. So to start off, we need to paint the bottom, and I wanted this to have a metal appearance because in the Studio McGee one, it definitely looks metalled and has that hammered finish. So to achieve this look, I started by painting it with a base of black. Typically in most of our projects, when we're going to be layering, you want to start off with a base color, and black seems to be a great base color for a hammered finish. So I did one solid coat on the back side and the front side, and then I let that dry completely. Next, I'm going to try to add that hammered finish onto the plate. So I pulled out 4 colors from acrylic paints that I had. I was going for silvers, golds, I wanted some whites, and I also went with like an espresso brown color. So I'm gonna put those colors out, and then using a paper towel, I'm gonna take a paper towel and crumple it up. I'm gonna dip the paper towel into my paint, and then I'll dab it on my craft table to get off any excess. I want very little paint on my paper towel for this next step. Then I'm gonna start dabbing the various paint colors onto my plate. So I'll put on the gold, I'll add the silver, then I'll come in with the white. Now at this point, you really need to start blending. So to blend, I want to start bringing back in some of those dark colors. So next I'm going to be adding in that espresso brown color, and that's going to tone down the colors and kind of mix them together really well. I took a step back and they weren't blending as well as I wanted them to, so I added a little bit of black, which was my original color, just to tone down the colors a little bit. Once I was happy with it, I let it dry completely. Then I used some E6000 on the bottom of my glass vase, placed it on my plate, and when that was dry, I just added in a candle, and you guys will have to let me know how well you think my dupe turned out. This next item I really hope you guys can find at your store. I found these black and white wall decals, and I thought they were so cute. I ended up picking up 8 of them. I got 4 in black and 4 in white. I decided with these I wanted to make a tray in that really popular checkered pattern. Now if you didn't like the checkered pattern, you could do these all in the same color. Like I think this would look great if all of them were in white. Next, I needed some wood boards to put underneath. Dollar Tree sells these long wood boards. I'm going to be using 3. So I laid out the wood boards, and then I placed the tiles on top in a checkered pattern. I pulled off the first 2 on the left side, and I'm going to use a combination of E6000 and hot glue to stick them on. The E6000 is going to give me a really strong bond, while that hot glue is going to give me that immediate bond so I can move on with my project. So I'll continue doing this, taking off 2 of them, adding E6000 and hot glue until I get them all glued down. I thought this tray really could use some handles, so I went through my tub. I have this tub in my craft room with all of my handles and knobs, and I found these 2 gold ones. Honestly, I'm not sure where they're from, but you could use any gold knobs for this project or handles. And I'm just going to pull off the screws on the back, and I'll E6000 the handles to the top of my tray. Let this dry overnight and you can style it. This would be so great sitting out in your kitchen or your bathroom. This is the time of year that I like to pick up those spring florals at Dollar Tree because the selection is so much better now than if I waited a month or 2. When I went to my Dollar Tree, I found all of these gorgeous lavender and purple florals. So I picked up 3 different varieties of the lavender. I also got a yellow stem, and then there was a white stem I got, and then those longer flowing cascade flowers I picked up as well because I wanted to put together a wreath. You guys are always requesting a wreath, so that's what we're gonna do today. I'm also picking up a metal wreath form for this project. So the way I wanted this wreath to look is I wanted it to be color blocked. So I took off the labels to all of my different stems, and on each section, I'm going to be putting 7 stems. So the way I did this was I bundled 4 together, and then I'm going to use a zip tie to hold them in place. So I put them on there, zip tied them in place. Now I'm gonna go back later and kind of move them around and add additional hot glue, but I just want to get the placement down in my flowers. So once I did one collection of flowers, I'm going to go to the next, and I made sure to kind of mix in those lighter colored stems so that they kind of fit in well in between my purples. So again, I'm going to do that same technique, gather a bundle, zip tie down, and then go a little bit farther up, gather a bundle, zip tie down. And I'm going to do this process all the way around until I get all of my flowers attached. From there, I flipped it over and I added some hot glue to the back side just to really secure in place where I put those flowers down. And then from there, I'll just flip it over to the front side, move everything around, add additional hot glue, and then from there, I'll hang up this gorgeous wreath. I think it just screams spring. The next time you're shopping at Dollar Tree, keep an eye out for these wood boxes. They have these really pretty fronts to them. There was 3 different varieties. You guys will have to let me know down in the comments which one you liked the best. My favorite was the scallop box, but these wood boxes are great for adding in as little trinket boxes around your house. With the scallop one, I added in some dark stain to it. To put the stain on, I just used a paper towel and wiped the stain on. Because I'm using a paper towel, as I'm adding the stain, I'm also removing any excess stain, so it's kind of like a 2-for-1 step. But I put stain on the entire box and I let it dry. Here's how it looks in my decor. If you've made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. Comment the word of the day, which is DIY. So when I was shopping at Dollar Tree and I saw those wall art where I made the tray earlier, I also found these little decorative balls that I thought this might be a really modern looking tray if I could get it to work. So I bought one of those. I also got a dessert plate over in the kitchen section. I E6000 this ball to the bottom of my plate, but because it was going to roll around, I had to use some painter's tape to hold it in place while it was drying. So I added like 3 or 4 different pieces of painter's tape around, and then I brought it up to the top. Now I did make sure I flipped it over and made sure that it was sitting level before I let it dry. But once I had it exactly where I wanted it, I let it dry overnight. The next day I came back in and I removed the painter's tape. Now I wanted to paint this a fresh color for spring, so I found this gorgeous green color that I had gotten a paint sample from. I mixed it with some baking soda and I did 2 coats, starting with the underside and then I did the top. Let that dry, and then I came back in and did an additional coat of paint. And this tray would be so pretty sitting out maybe by your sink. You could put your jewelry on it, or it would be great sitting out by your kitchen sink next to your soap. Hey guys, I'm Liz and you're watching my second DIY channel where I post daily DIY videos. You may be familiar with my main channel, Liz Fenwick DIY, but I'm glad that you found me over here on my second channel. Make sure that you're subscribed so you just get notified every day when I post our daily DIY video.